Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, I've been seeing some stuff online recently, in particular from reverts, that they are being told or they're reading that the Quran shouldn't be backed up by the Hadiths and that the Hadiths are fake and that we shouldn't follow the Hadiths and we should only follow the Quran. Of course, we shouldn't follow hadiths if a hadith is fabricated or fake or whatever. But actually, I need to talk to you really seriously about why hadiths are necessary for us to be Muslim. Now, Islam consists of different ingredients, if you like, which make Islam as it is, make it complete. Islam consists of the Quran, which of course is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's the foundation. And then we have the Sunnah or Hadiths, or the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and reports of what he said, what he did, how he did things, etc. Okay, so the Quran provides the baseline, it's unchangeable. The Hadiths, you know, you get slightly different versions of hadiths, and you need to study hadith literature and the science of hadiths to understand how that works, not just accept something that somebody has said online, including what I've said as well, by the way. So the Quran instructs us to obey and follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he was, in essence, a walking Quran. Now, for example, and a good example of why we need the hadiths as well as the Quran. Now, the hadiths show the detail of from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For example, in the Quran, it tells us to pray, but okay, I know I need to pray. Now, how do I pray? And this is where we get the detail of how to pray from the actions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, there was one particular sister online who had actually taken her hijab off because she'd received and believed this misinformation. And this is a revert sister. She's received this information that actually the hijab isn't obligatory because we're not accepting the hadiths, etc., etc. So I just want to send this message out to any sisters who have also received this fitna. If we apply the principle that I've just spoken about, which is that in order to know how to live Islam or how to live a rule that the Quran gives us, we need the practice of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's apply that now to the hijab, or khimar, which is the correct way of calling it. It's the same principle. So the context of the Quranic text tells the women, the believing women, to draw the khimar down over the chest. The context was what? That women already covered their hair back then, but had their chests open. So this simply says to those women, adjust your head cover to now include the chest. So the hijab, or what that actually means in Arabic, is a barrier. It's mentioned in the Quran, but it's important to understand the context as well. In fact, with regards to the female dress, the khimar is mentioned. As well as with this, we need to look at the hadiths to understand how women around the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam dressed and reacted when this verse was revealed. What did they do? They immediately covered what was required. And remember, the niqab for the face cover only applied to the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Other women could do it if they wanted to, but they didn't have to. So my dear brothers and sisters, what I'm saying here is study the fiqh of hadiths, the understanding or the science of hadith, if you're interested in knowing more, because of course my attempt to explain doesn't do it proper justice. But please don't accept these individuals or these groups who are saying to you, you should disregard the hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and you should only follow the Quran, because actually what you're going to end up with is an incomplete Islam. And the Quran tells you to follow the example of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if we don't have the hadiths, then how do we follow that example? Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.